Good morning, class. We are here once again with a topic on class 9, chapter 1, cells. We had already talked about prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells in the last class. Before that, we talked about the plant and animal cell. Friends, today we are going to talk about different cell organelles. Today, we will be doing with cell wall and plasma membrane. So the topic today goes as cell wall and plasma membrane. Okay friends, let me clear this to you that these two topics which we are going to do today are quite a confusing one, because these both are almost same type of thing, having almost the same function with a very little difference. So first of all, we'll do the characteristics of each separately, then I'll point out the point of confusion and then the point of difference, so that hopefully the things get clearly. Okay, so first let us talk about cell wall. Okay, so cell wall, the first point says, friends, cell wall is present in plant cell. Here you see, it's present only in plant cell. We have already talked about two types of cell, plant cell and animal cell. So this cell wall is present only in plant cell. It's not present in animal cell. The second thing it says, what does a wall do? A wall protects the inner lying material from external injuries, shocks, waves, or anything which can harm the inner components. So cell wall's function is protect the cell from external injuries. Point number 2, it protects the cell wall from external injuries. Any wall, what does it do? Your wall from your house, it protects everything which lies inside the wall from any external damage. So is the case with cell wall. Cell wall is the outermost covering of plant cell, and it will protect anything which lies inside to it. The third is, it helps to maintain its shape. It means the shape of the cell. So since it's the outermost structure, it will decide the shape of the cell. As you know, as is the design of our wall, we call it the same as the structure of our room. Similarly, in the case of cells, whatever is the structure of the cell or cell wall, that is the final structure of the cell. It does not affect the permeability of cell. I am marking not affect permeability. And now what is permeability? Permeability is ability of movement of one molecule or set of molecules from outer surrounding to the inner surroundings. For example, if this is a cell wall, so a few molecules are lying over here outside the cell, and some may be lying inside to it. So whether this, I am marking this as cross, so whether is this molecule able to move inside or not, or the inner molecule is able to move outside or not. This property is called permeability, the ability of movement of different molecules from inside or outside to the cell is called permeability. So this cell wall will not affect the permeability of the cell. Means if something has to go out or come in, that will not be affected by the cell wall. Clear? Okay. Then the last point says, cell wall is also present in bacteria. Okay, so the first point said the cell wall is present in plant cell, and the last point I am also talking about a difference, that cell wall is not only present in plant cell but it is also present in bacteria. Okay, so the first thing is present in plant cell, protects from external injury, maintains shape, does not affect permeability of the cell, and cell wall is also present in bacteria. Second point is now talking about the plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is present in animal cell. Second point says, obviously this was present in plant cell, this is present in animal cell. Now helps to protect. Okay, I'll talk about the first point once again. This is present in animal cell. This was the outermost structure of plant cell, and this is the outermost structure of the animal cell. Then this helps to protect the cell from the surroundings. As the cell wall was protecting the cell from external injury, same is the case over here. Plasma membrane will help to protect the cell from surrounding. Surrounding or injury, which we talked about in this case, could be any external damage. Someone hitting it, wind, dust, etc. can be the external injury. This is composed of phospholipids and proteins. That means the structure is made up of inorganic substances which are phospholipids and proteins. Then last point is, this is selectively permeable or semi-permeable in nature. So we talked about permeability. I told you what is permeability. That is the movement of molecules from inside or outside to the cell. But here we are talking about selectively permeable or semi-permeability. So permeability is of three types. First is freely permeable, second is selectively permeable, and third is semi-permeable. This is the example of freely permeable. Means it will not affect the permeability of the cell. Anything can come inside and anything can go outside of the cell depending upon the density or the concentration of the component. But if we talk about semi-permeability, we define semi-permeability as the movement of molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration in presence of semi-permeable membrane. That is semi-permeability. That is, it will allow a few molecules to pass through it when there is presence of a membrane, and that membrane will be plasma membrane. If something is crossing through this membrane, it will be called semi-permeable membrane. But it's not like everything can pass through it. Only some useful material are able to pass through it depending upon the concentration gradient. But in case of selectively permeable membrane, it will block almost everything and will allow only specific one or two components which have been already decided to pass through it. That is called selectively permeable membrane. So these are two types of membranes we talked about, cell wall and plasma membrane. I talked about the differences. Now points of confusion. First thing I am saying is, these both are present in plant cell and animal cell as the outermost structure. But let me tell you, that if in the case of plant cells consist of two membranes. First, which is the most outermost, that is called the cell wall, and inner to it lies another protective membrane, that is plasma membrane. And in case of animal cell, there is only one membrane present, that is plasma membrane. This means, friends, that in case of animal cell there are two protective membranes. First is the cell wall and the second is the plasma membrane. But in case of animal cell there is only one protective layer, and that is semi-permeable or selectively permeable. It affects the permeability of cell, and this is the outermost layer called the plasma membrane. But in case of cell wall, the outermost layer does not affect the permeability, while the inner membrane will affect the permeability. This cell wall is found in plant cell and animal cell, but is absent in animal cell. This cell wall is present both in plant cell and bacterial cell, but in plasma membrane is present in animal cell and plant cell. Confused नहीं होना. This is the point of confusion about the plant cell and cell wall and the plasma membrane. In the next class, we'll talk about nucleus and cytoplasm. Till then, thank you.